Once again, welcome back to Vermont Scale Customs. Thank you for stopping by the channel. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe, please feel free to now. It's a great opportunity. Anyway, I got some Trench Kings on this thing. They showed up on the FJ45 that I got a couple weeks ago. Did a little switch on the wheels and tire setup for each of these rigs, and it has worked out for the better for both of them. Almost like it was kind of meant to be. So, yep. I'm considering this truck pretty much finished at this point. It's got Super 8s on it now. It's decked out front to back. There's really nothing different that I would do. I got the Tremo Servo tray for it. I had been running, I don't even remember, something different, something not made for the Super 8s. And I discovered a couple times, or shortly after running it a couple times, that the tray just, no matter how tight you got it, it just wasn't tight on the axle. So decided to order the tray, and it is a true zero tolerance fit. It's actually kind of crazy how that goes together. It just slots right in there. And yeah, you know, it's definitely made exactly for those axles. Highly recommended if you are getting a set of these to get that servo tray too. I had no problems with the hole pattern matching up on my particular servo. I guess there's issues with some of them not matching up. Wasn't my problem, this particular build. But just vented at the wheel, running stock foams. Nothing too crazy. I think this truck clocks in at just under 600. It's like 597, if I'm not mistaken. I'll actually post the real number here if I'm wrong at some point in the video. But anyway, it seems to handle that weight a lot better than the grippers did. The grippers are now on a truck that weighs 487 grams, and it's got a lot shorter wheelbase, and it seems to just take care of that truck a lot better than it did on this situation. Kind of makes this truck feel better than it did with the DJ crawler pins, the comp pins. These aren't quite as big, but they just have a different sidewall. The tread pattern is different. They're just ultimately, I think, the best tire that I've had on this truck so far. So these are going to stay. But these tires opened up a bunch of new lines. And speaking of new lines, this is like kind of a little bit more of what I ended up clearing away and discovering. And if you don't know anything about this, I really didn't really expect you to, but I kind of discovered this existed on my parents' property by looking on Google Earth. The shot was from probably, I don't even know, 10 years or so ago, 15 maybe even at the most. And it revealed some landscaping that was completely covered by some overgrown stuff. So I went to town, cleaned all of that off, and now I have a nice little like mini compish line. You know, I would say you could probably set up about 7 or 8 gates on it all the way across if you really wanted to get that crazy. And then this is just a little stair set that I built last year. Now this is back over to that course that I was talking about. And it's got a bunch of different lines on it too if you come at it from the side. It's got some good climbs, some gap stuff. Which is interesting because it's got a granite and sandstone, you know, so kind of your tractions are different from side to side, so it's kind of good to teach you, you know, how it's going to feel and respond between each of those. And the grippers have done fine. Definitely thumbs up on the review of those tires. If I haven't given you that indication already, they're definitely good. Perfect for this build. But kind of as I expected, this truck, more or less, I didn't know that I was going to take this long to finish it. I thought once I got the chassis, got everything put together, I would kind of piece together metal part after metal part until it was finally done. I didn't know how long that was going to take. I thought it would take a few months, but I don't even really remember when I started building this thing. It must have been about 6 months ago. And so I'd say it's definitely finished at this point. And really the only thing now is just to repair stuff when it goes wrong. I did lose the right front CV towards the end of running this. It's not included. The clip's not in this. But what ended up happening is I got caught up on climbing the gap just to the right of this and hit the throttle way too much, and the thing spun up out of the gap, flipped over, and landed, I believe, right front first at pretty close to full throttle. And so this is dirt all down below here. Tire bit right into all the traction and just sheared off the CD like it was nothing. So I have gone with ramp crib universals. They have not been thrown in yet. I'm looking forward to put those in, get this thing back up and running. I've been working on getting brushless installed into the FJ45, which is awesome. I should have a video about that coming up here soon. At least it's a running video, and you guys know what it looks like to install a brushless motor, so no need for that kind of nonsense. These tires opened up this whole line to the left. I've not really been able to use that on the left to get through there. It seems they're stiff enough. They just have good sipe, on the sides, everything just traction-wise. And then it also allowed me to stay high enough to the left to be able to work through this gap. But of course, there's a little bit of a stump thing on the right-hand side, which kind of hung that whole thing up. A lot of work still needs to be done to this whole little section here. I might rearrange things, but I discovered yet again there's a whole nother line. And I struggle here. I think this might be like one of the first ascents, the actual first time up, if I'm not mistaken, third attempt, but the real first time up I thought I'd include. So I got to this point, I think it was there, and I lose it, and I'm way, way over. So I start just wiggling. I hear that wind. Hopefully the mic is picking that up. So I go at it for a second attempt. This one's a little smoother. I still need to reposition with a reverse, but I'll take an up with a reverse any day. I mean, pretty much pointing it at the sky. Not 100% vertical, but definitely coming in on the bumper. So there's the reposition. Now I get the left front hooked. Once that left link is over that breakover point, it's up. Now this, I had looked at this a couple times. I wasn't sure I could do this. And the backup was just to sort of reline up for it. This was the first run through this. I tried it one more time after this. I thought I was going to get hung here, so I ended up just gunning it. But on this next attempt, it's a little more reasonable. So reset the line, come across over from this way, gap this little rock here, and of course get stuck in the process. I left this in because three-wheeling on Trench Kings, I had never ever done that before on, I think that truck would have probably just not made it, and with multiple other sets of tires on there, that thing just held right on. Okay, so coming back in, no chance to really line up, just looking at it from whichever way I was headed at it. So unfortunately, I'm a little more to the right, which puts a ton of force on the front, but while it looks like the truck is driving hard, I'm just going incredibly slow. There's no overdrive on this. Granted, the rear tires are spinning a little bit, but you're not getting that much more forward motion as you are upward motion. So it's just basically hanging on with the right front, three-wheeling up this. Not that much pressure on the CD. This isn't the thing that broke it. Listen to that wind. Holy crap. Anyway. So I'll fix this whole section up through here to kind of make it a little bit more, I don't know. I'm going to try and gap, I think, between that and this lighter shade of rock here. And close in something here to be able to get over to this climb. a little better. Just clean it up in general. I haven't had a whole lot of time to put in on this little outdoor course thing. I've just been driving it as it is. But if you don't own a little guy X Factor or the Comp 24 chassis, and then you want to get into like a full-time 24 scale, really an 18 scale, 24 scale, all metal, super durable truck, I highly recommend building one. If you want to invest in one, you will be so completely happy that you got your name on the list, and the email showed up that the chassis are available. You get a hold of one. I really would like to see them at some point in time do an aluminum cage for this, although I think it would make it incredibly heavy. Nevertheless, I'm a sucker for a milled component like that. If they did it, I'll buy it. But